Hello, everybody. I'm back again. This is Ray from Race United now. This segment, I'm going to talk about Ghana having to have their own digital currency. Now, Ghana, obviously, as you lot know, those of you that don't know, is my parent country. My birth country is the UK, but my parent country is Ghana. So, I was so excited, ecstatic, when a few weeks ago I heard on the news, internationally, that Ghana could be one of the first African countries to actually implement digital currency. So their city will be called e-city in a digital form, which means electronic city. So I'm going to talk and delve into this in a very deeper way. So all of you will begin to understand why most countries are trying to incorporate digital currency into their transactions. I'll be right back. So, what is digital currency? Now, digital currency, I'm going to actually define it myself, and then I'll read it out. I'll read out to you what the Forbes definition is. So, hey, shout outs to Forbes. So the way I understand digital currency to be is we all have fiat currency, which is a physical cash that we carry. So in digital form, it's obviously your own money. This time round, it's obviously the transaction is made, instead of you going to a store to pay physical cash, you would actually use your bank card to do it. So your money is still, even though you can have a physical form by going to the cash machine or the bank to withdraw it, you can still also use your money using your bank card electronically. However, a currency is only digital when transactions can be made between countries, between people, remotely, without having to physically be there. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's the way I understand digital currency to be. However, Forbes have defined it in this way, and please shout outs to Forbes. I'm going to read this out for you to know. Let me pick up my phone and tell you exactly what Forbes said. So Forbes is saying digital currency is any currency that's available exclusively in electronic form. That's exactly what I actually just said. And it goes on to say electronic versions of currency already predominate most countries' financial systems. So what I realize is that if you take the USA, for instance, people might think cash is actually in full flow, physical cash, fiat currency. It's actually flowing. People are just using cash, but no, they're not. It's actually a tenth of people's monies that are used physically in the United States. So 90% of it is in a form of, it's in a digital form. You get what I'm saying? So digital currency is something that is here to stay because of the computer age. So the technology age. So that's what's going to happen. Hence, we have cryptocurrency and stuff, which I'll be talking about in my subsequent series, which I've been talking about in my first episode, and you will also know more about in the subsequent series to come. However, in this very segment, what we're talking about is Ghana. So Ghana are now going to implement this particular digital currency. So their city, which is Ghana's currency, is going to be e-city. Obviously, when it's in an electronic form, obviously physically it is city. That will be the official currency name known by the World Bank and obviously other countries as well. So that's what you're going to see. I'm going to delve deep into how Ghana's going to deal with this electronic cash or electronic money or digital currency in my next segment. I'll be right back. So I'm back. So this is not going to be a lecture on digital currency. However, I want you to actually know the difference between electronic money or electronic currency and digital currency. Now, electronic currency, obviously, you can still convert to cash because you can go and withdraw money from the cash machine. If you take Bitcoin, for instance, and Ethereum and all the other major cryptocurrencies, which are digital currencies, you can't do that. You understand? You would have to actually transfer it with a fee being applied to it to, somewhere else to be able to transform it to a form of electronic cash before you can withdraw it. But while it's in the exchange, it can't be transferred or transformed into a physical cash or even electronic cash at that time. You can only use that because it has value that's fluctuating the whole time. Electronic cash's value never fluctuates because it's the money you have in your bank account. However, digital currency, mostly you would have to float it. You would have to, obviously, if you want to withdraw it, you can withdraw it, but you would have to float it on the exchange in order for it to have a rise or fall depending on the market's values. You understand? So with that, it would always go with what the markets are saying. You get what I'm saying? That is digital currency. So that is the difference. So let me now delve into what Ghana is going to do in order to be able to implement it and actually effectively use it on the exchange. I'll be right back. So I'm back. Now, I don't want to delve into a lot of technicalities, but you may hear one or two technical terms that I will use when I'm actually explaining what Ghana is going to do in order to get to the final phase or the final stage of their digital currency. Now, first, before I continue, what I need you to know is it's backed by their central bank. So Ghana's Bank of Ghana, which is the central bank of Ghana, they are backing that. They're the ones actually doing all of that to ensure that Ghana eventually gets the digital currency. So it will be divided into three phases. They have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is the initial phase. Phase 2 is the implementation phase, and then phase 3 is the pilot phase. Now let me just break it down slowly for you. So phase 1, the initial phase, that's where you have the design, so they're gonna actually electronically design the money and everything. So before they float, before they actually gains ground, before they get to the implementation phase, they would have to design everything digitally. So once the design is done, then obviously, and they're satisfied and they've cross-checked with all their experts, they move to the second phase, which is the implementation phase. Now, implementation phase is where a lot of the programming takes place. I don't want to be so technical, but that's where a lot of the trial and errors and the test phase, as it were. So that's what's going to happen. They would test a lot of things before they even get to the final phase. So once they test everything and they're satisfied with what they've got, they've tested it with the masses, they've tested it on their apps, on their phones, and they're satisfied, they will now move to the pilot phase, which is the final phase, phase 3. Now, what does the pilot phase say? So the pilot phase, I wrote it down here. It says it uses the use of digital money on mobile applications and other applications that are currently running. You understand? So that's when it would actually be used on apps. You get what I'm saying? So once that happens, that's what's going to happen. And once they're satisfied, they get into the final phase. Everybody who is interested in the digital currency will be able to do that. Now, what are the pros and cons of this? I'm going to tell you when I come back. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of digital currencies? First, let's delve into the good news, which is the advantage. Now, the first advantage is the payments are fast. You understand? You get fast payments. So you get your first advantage being payments being fast. So you complete payments much quicker as opposed to, say, using your bank and stuff. And then of course it's less expensive internationally. So if you're doing international transfers, I mean, it's a flat kind of fee that they charge. It never depends on where you're actually obviously transferring the money to, or the digital currency to, the money from the digital currency, because if you have the app, that's it, you will be able to use it. That's the whole point. So that is very, very good. Thirdly, you have access to it 24/7. Now that's also very good because, well, that's so good because when you think about it, banks, especially during the weekend, transactions are very slow. Sometimes you may not even get the money until the Monday of the following week. So that can be a bit slow depending on which bank you do business with. But in this form is very, very good. The fourth one is it supports the unbanked or the underbanked. Now, when we say that, what we're trying to say is people that don't have bank accounts. You don't need a bank account in this very instance because you can still do transactions with digital currency. Remember that you can still do transactions, which means that you don't need a bank account for that, which is also going to help. So point number 4, it support for the underbanked or the unbanked. That's what it is. And then the fifth one is more efficient government payments. So in this case, I can just read it out. It says if the government developed a central bank digital currency, it could send payments like tax refunds, child benefits, and food stamps, in this case America, to people instantly rather than trying to mail them a check or figure outs prepaid debit cards. You understand? So this is very good. It's very good, and that's why they're trying to implement it. Ghana is trying to do that, so people that don't have bank accounts and everything will be able to have these transactions. And remember, some of us do some business in Ghana, and sometimes sending money can be a bit dear. So if you have digital currency, it's much quicker, and obviously the fact that it's much quicker and you will be able to send money, it makes you feel like, you know, business could run much efficiently. You understand? So now let's move to the disadvantages. So disadvantages are too many currencies to navigate at the moment. It's true. There's too many of them. If you take cryptocurrency, for instance, there is a lot. And the fluctuation, the volatility of them is such that it doesn't breed a sort of certainty or assurances in your finances in some cases. You know what I mean? So I would say the volatility is not helping at the moment, but the trajectory is up, like I keep saying. So if the trajectory is up, then you can't complain, you know. But when you need your finances to be stable, then digital currency can sometimes be a pain in the neck. You know what I'm saying? Now, disadvantage number 2 is it takes effort to learn how to use them. So in this case, I'll just delve a bit into it. So digital currencies require work on the part of the user to learn how to perform fundamental tasks, like how to open a digital wallet and properly store digital assets securely. So it's one of those things. Yeah, it's true. Even in Pi Network, for instance, which is a new cryptocurrency, which I do a lot of videos on. When you go to their chat rooms, a lot of people ask questions, and like I said, there are no questions that are silly questions. These are people that want to have knowledge, and you can see it's very basic, and they don't know much, and so you tend to, if you're not a patient person, you tend to be a bit judgmental of them, but you shouldn't be. You know, this is what it is. That's the disadvantage of digital currency. It can be complex at times, but I do my best to break it down for people when I do my Pi videos. Keep watching my Pi videos anyway. You can find them in most of my, just go to the account, and most of my videos are there. Blockchain transactions can be expensive. Yes, they can be. Cryptocurrency uses blockchain, and where computers must solve complex equations to verify and record transactions. This takes considerable electricity and gets more expensive as there are more transactions. Now, this is where Pi comes in. Pi is a mobile cryptocurrency, so it doesn't use a lot of electricity. It uses the Stellar protocol, which is different. You get what I'm trying to say? So again, when I do my videos about Pi, you know why I'm so emphatic about it. So yes, go into my Pi videos, watch them, and understand how Pi works. And trust me, you might not even look into any cryptocurrency other than Pi. You can also check if you're new and you don't know anything about Pi, visit some of my videos and you will see my username and the invitation code if you want to join and let me know in the chat section on my account. And obviously there are other disadvantages: large swings in digital currency prices, which is the volatility I was talking about. So it says cryptocurrency prices and value can change suddenly. There's one person that believes this is why businesses are reluctant to use it as a medium of exchange. As a business, blah 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 blah. But yeah, so with the central bank's digital currency, though the value is much stabler like paper currency and cannot fluctuate like this. So what they're saying is the central banks are able to stabilize and regulate the volatility of their currency. So it may be that we should look into that. That's why I'm doing this video. So if you're a Ghanaian in Ghana, I'm looking into your eyes and telling you that this digital currency is going to be good because it's going to be controlled properly and they don't fluctuate. The value don't fluctuate as much as cryptocurrency. However, cryptocurrency has a much higher ceiling because it's not regulated as much compared to, say, the central bank's digital currency. And then the final one is developing a central bank's digital currency will take time and tax dollars. So for instance, in the United States, if that's what you're doing in Ghana, this is what you're gonna get. A US central bank digital currency is still hypothetical. Now, their one is hypothetical. If the government decides to create one, there will be costs associated with its development. Well, so this is what I was talking about. So in Ghana, if they're trying to implement that, now obviously they will have to do that in the test phase. So they have the initial phase where they design the electronic money, and then they go to the second phase, which is where they obviously implement it and test it out to see how effective it's going to be in the real world. And then finally they go into the pilot phase where they use the digital money on mobile applications and other applications that are currently running. So that's what's going to happen. All right, so I'll be back with my conclusion. So in conclusion, what I would say it's much more advantageous as opposed to less advantageous, because it would act as obviously a form of digital cash. However, I think a little fee might be paid, but little or no fee will be paid. Because the central bank, they can afford to subsidize it. And what I'm thinking is, with Ghana's, Bank of Ghana trying to incorporate that into their digital world, I believe that would enable business to run much faster in Ghana. And I know a lot of African countries would also implement that. However, obviously, because of the slight disadvantages in them, I feel like they might have to take caution and, probably make sure the implementation phase takes a bit longer. So the design phase, which is phase one, initial phase, will be a bit quicker, but the implementation phase is where they need to take their time. You look at Pi, the testnet, which is the phase two, has taken about 1.5 years. So that's what you do. The test phase has to be the phase where everything is long. You take your time, ensure you get most things, if not everything, right before you move to the final phase. I believe it's gonna work. You should just be patient and deal with it accordingly and build it systematically. You know what I'm saying? The name is Ray, the channel is Rays United, and the word is peace.